In 1979, she walked onto a spaceship wearing a white t-shirt and a pair of boots. No one knew it then, but that woman was about to shatter the single most expensive glass ceiling in Hollywood. But here is the twist they don't put in the posters. For nearly a decade after Alien, the industry tried to put her in a box. They told her she was too tall, too intelligent, and that a woman could not carry an action franchise. They wanted to replace her with a man. They offered her millions to just shut up and look pretty. But Sigourney Weaver did not just survive the Hollywood machine, she outsmarted it. By the time she was 40, she was the highest paid female actress in history. By 70, she had amassed a fortune built on refusing to say no to the roles that scared her most. Today we're not just talking about Ellen Ripley, we're talking about the business acumen, the emotional grit, and the blueprint Sigourney Weaver used to turn typecasting into a billion-dollar legacy. If you have ever felt pigeonholed in your career, told you are too something to succeed, this story is your playbook. Let's dive in. To understand the victory, you have to understand the starting line. Susan Alexandra Weaver, yes, her real name is Susan, was born in Manhattan to a family of television executives. Her father was the president of NBC. By all accounts, she should have had a red carpet rollout of her. But Sigourney had a problem. She was 6 feet tall. In the 1970s, Hollywood leading men were Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, and Woody Allen. They barely reached her shoulder. Casting directors did not see leading lady, they saw awkward. She took the name Sigourney from a character in The Great Gatsby to sound more distinctive. She studied drama at Yale, where one of her professors famously told her, "You have no talent, you should quit." Imagine that. You are at one of the best drama schools in the world and the person teaching you tells you that you are a waste of space. Most people would have crumbled, but Sigourney did something that defines her entire career. She got angry. She channeled that rage into her work. She scrapped by doing off-Broadway plays, sleeping on couches, waiting for the roles that would use her height as an asset, not a liability. And then a script landed on her desk. It was a slow-key B-movie horror script about a monster in space. The character was named Ripley. Originally, the script had the part written for a man, but the director Ridley Scott saw something in her. He saw a masculine intensity wrapped in feminine vulnerability. Sigourney read the script and realized if she played Ripley like a man, if she tried to be tough, it would fail. Instead, she played her like a survivor. She played her like a human being who was terrified, competent, and relentless. Alien exploded. It was a cultural phenomenon. But here is where the typecasting begins. After Alien, Sigourney was offered every strong woman role in Hollywood, but the offers were insulting. The industry loved Ripley, but they did not love the actress. They thought she was a fluke. Then came Aliens in 1986. This is the inflection point. This is where she went from being a working actress to a business tycoon. When James Cameron wrote the sequel, the studio 20th Century Fox did not want to pay her. In fact, they did not want her at all. The studio heads had a brilliant idea. Let's kill Ripley in the first 10 minutes and have this be about a bunch of space marines led by a man. Sigourney read the script and realized that Ripley was the heart of the story. She was not just a survivor anymore. She was a mother figure protecting a little girl nude. It was a role that required physical stamina and emotional depth. So she played hardball. She refused to do the film until they paid her what she was worth and unless they wrote the part for her. This is the moment most actors break. They take the deal because they are scared of being fired. But Sigourney had leverage, the audience. She She went back to Fox and said, "You can make this movie without me, but it's going to bomb." She negotiated a deal that was unprecedented. She got a salary of $1 million, which was massive for a woman at the time. But more importantly, she demanded a percentage of the gross profits. Aliens grossed over $180 million worldwide. That back-end percentage, it turned her $1 million paycheck into a fortune. She proved that a woman could open an action film. But more than that, she proved that actors, especially women, deserved a seat at the negotiating table. This was 1986. The concept of profit participation for a female lead in an action movie was unheard of. She pioneered it. Now, if this were a normal success story, the script would say she did the sequel, made the money, and wrote the web. But Sigourney did not do that. She did the opposite. After Aliens, the studios came to her with dozens of scripts. They all wanted her to hold a gun. They wanted her to be Ripley in space, Ripley in the jungle, Ripley in a helicopter. She turned them all down. And this is the hardest lesson in any career. When you find success in a niche, the world wants you to keep you there. They want you to repeat the same trick until the audience gets bored. But Sigourney knew that typecasting is a slow death. In 1988, she made two decisions that shocked Hollywood. She signed on to Gorillas in the Mist. It was a biopic about Diane Fossey, a woman who dedicated her life to saving mountain gorillas in Rwanda. There were no guns, there were no spaceships, just a woman in the mud fighting poachers. It was physically brutal. She contracted dysentery. She lived in the jungle for months. Second, while she was fighting gorillas, she was also filming Working Girl, a romantic comedy set in the cutthroat world of Wall Street. Think about that. In the same year, she played a hardened, stoic primatologist in Africa and a glamorous, morally grey corporate raider in Manhattan. She went from Maddie boots to designer heels. Gorillas in the Mist earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Working Girl earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. In one calendar year, she killed the action heroine typecast. She showed the industry that she was not a genre actress, she was a character actress trapped in a leading lady's body. This is the diversification strategy. Just like an investor does not put all their money in one stock, Sigourney did not put her legacy into one genre. She built a portfolio of roles that showcased range, which allowed her to command higher salaries for the next 30 years. By the 1990s and 2000s, Sigourney was untouchable. She was not just a movie star, she was a character actor who could elevate any project. She did comedy, drama, and eventually she returned to the genre that made her famous, but on her own terms. But let's talk about the fortune. In 2026, Sigourney Weaver's net worth is estimated to be over $65 million. But the number is not the story, how she built it is. Most actors in their 60s and 70s start disappearing from the A-list. Sigourney did not. She signed on for Avatar, James Cameron's billion-dollar franchise. At 60 years old, she played a scientist in a motion capture suit. At 70, she returned for the sequels. While other actors her age were doing cameos, she was learning to ride six-legged horse creatures for $5 million to $10 million per picture. She also became a master of the smart franchisee. She understood that to stay wealthy in Hollywood, you need residual income. By attaching herself to massive IPs like Avatar and Ghostbusters, she ensured that her estate would be generating income for decades after she stops working. But here is the emotional crux. In interviews, she has said that the fortune was never the goal. The goal was independence. The money bought her the ability to say no. When you have the wealth she has, you don't have to take the bad script. You don't have to tolerate the director who does not respect you. Financial freedom for Sigourney was not about the cars or the houses. It was about the artistic freedom. I want to leave you with one image. In 1997, Sigourney was filming Alien Resurrection. She had to hold her breath for 6 minutes underwater for a single shot. She trained with a Navy SEAL to do it. She nearly drowned. When asked why she pushed herself so hard, she said, "I wanted to do what the guys were doing. I did not want to be the damsel in distress." That is the through line of her career. It was not just about breaking the glass ceiling for herself, it was about widening the door for everyone else. She built her fortune by refusing to be a one-hit wonder. She overcame typecasting by outworking the stereotype. When they said she was too tall, she used her height to command the screen. When they said she was too old for action, she went to space with James Cameron again. When they said a woman could not open a blockbuster, she held the #1 spot at the box office for weeks. Sigourney Weaver teaches us that success is not about waiting for the right opportunity, it's about taking the opportunities they give you, even the scary ones, and bending them until they fit you. So, what's the takeaway for you? Whether you are an artist, an entrepreneur, or climbing the corporate ladder, the typecasting of your life is going to happen. People are going to put you in a box because it's easier for them to understand you that way. Your job is not to fight the box, your job is to break it from the inside. Be like Sigourney, diversify your skills, know your worth at the negotiating table, and when the industry or your boss tries to write you out of the sequel, remind them that you are the franchisee. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business of Hollywood legends, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm put more stories like this in front of people who need to hear them. And I want to know in the comments, what is the typecast that you are currently fighting to overcome in your own life. Let's build a community of survivors just like Ripley. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.